I've been a content creator and in the business world for a long time. I elongated the long because that's actually how long I've been in it. I was there at MySpace. I did the whole blogging, whether it was music or travel or food or lifestyle or yoga. I got into podcasts really early. In 2016, I started producing them and doing music journalism on my phone and capturing long form content. I thought, gosh, why is anyone going to listen to this? It was a bit crazy. Do you remember Anchor FM? I remember the Anchor app where I used to upload all the audio. They used to have like a radio station where you could just stream your stuff. So I used to upload to that. And we are where we're at now, and I have multiple channels. Some I wasn't able to funnel as much focus and strategic attention to. Why? Because I was compartmentalizing my efforts so much, and I was taking advice from so many great YouTubers and gurus and strategists, etc., etc. But then I would always kind of fall at a hurdle at some point because I felt like it wasn't holistic enough. It wasn't taking in everything into account. And a big part of my work, which also happens to involve reputation management and crisis comms, it's all about taking in the risks, the interdependencies, doing the stakeholder mapping, knowing what the zeitgeist is saying. And then there are additional things that I do in my work, in my strategic work and also content creation work, such as understanding your content architecture, your North Star and your value compass. And the whole time being aware of yourself, having more strategic self-awareness, and then this sort of reflexive thinking that I became really familiar with when I started systems thinking. I ended up devising this list of 7 strategic zones. I'll just quickly rattle them through, right? So zone 1, strategic self-awareness. This is back to front, I know. Zone 1, strategic self-awareness. Zone 2, your interdependencies and your stakeholder mapping. Zone 3, your risk readiness and your reputation design. Zone 4, media literacy and zeitgeist awareness. Zone 5, engagement system and content architecture. Zone 6, your North Star and value compass. And zone 7, reflexive thinking and the bricklayer mindset. And I talk about the bricklayer mindset a lot. It comes from bricolage. It's really about using everything that's within your grasp, the resources, the skills, the knowledge, the experience that you have within your grasp right now, and not sort of only following through with creation or problem solving in your typical logical steps and sequences. It allows you to be more creative and spontaneous. And when I devised this, I thought, oh gosh, this is great for any brand to check where they're at with their reputation, readiness and risk management. Is also great for a check-in if you have doubts about what you're doing. It's also great for you to understand who your audience is, the different segments. Are there any that you're missing, that you're ignoring even? We can neglect stakeholders from time to time, we don't realise it. And how knowledgeable are you of the socio-political issues that actually impact your audience, your customer base? Do you have that sort of zeitgeist awareness that I call zone 4? And more, your North Star, your value compass. I've done videos about having too many ideas and ensuring you come back into alignment. And actually, this is a pretty controversial take. Having too many ideas is a good thing. It's fuel for focus. Too many ideas is fuel for focus. It allows you to reflect on what you're doing and why you're doing it. It's great. It shouldn't be a problem, but I talk about that in separate videos. And I just found that this kind of system that I call a playbook, like a new thinking system, like your second brain, this playbook is an iterative one. It's like one that you will always revisit, one that you will always have there, like in your back pocket. Like you can just sit there on the train, in a cab, an Uber, wherever, and just be like, okay, if you get into any of these zones with me and learn how to apply them to your situation, then you can easily, like journal prompts, that's a good example, like journal prompts, you can easily just check in with yourself and ask yourself the right prompts and questions that really relate to any of these zones. That gets you kind of, it's like a higher level of abstraction. You can zoom out and really sort of consider what's going on, take in the whole picture, and then you can get to a really low level of abstraction, which is like getting really nuanced. And then, as I always say, webs upon webs upon webs, you start to see all the interconnectedness of it all, the interrelationships, and then the opportunities. And this is where I absolutely value how much I've learned in my MSc doing systems thinking, and how it has really, honestly, amplified my strategic work. And it has, I feel like it's giving me a second brain. So this is really why I feel that if I was to take on anyone's method or system or approach, I'd bring all of this into the mix, just because I feel like it would make it much more tailored to me. And having that kind of tailored approach with our brand, our business, and what we're doing is so important, because yes, we know that there's certain trends, certain algorithm changes that impact all of us, but they don't impact us all in the same way, which is why it's really important to have this awareness, which is why I speak about it all the time on my YouTube channel, on TikTok, and definitely in my masterclass, my upcoming summer masterclass. But there's some tools that I have available on my site for my audience of creators, founders, entrepreneurs, if you're building in public, because you're doing a lot of this thinking already. You're being intentional with your thinking. Let's just put it in a framework so you know where you're going and what you're doing, because you're always thinking anyway. You're always switched on. Put it in a framework. Have your playbook at the ready, and then just iterate. Webs upon